Yo, what's up? What's happening? We are live. Sorry about the delay, a couple minutes behind, but we are here for live number 4. Hope you're doing well. So in the future, these lives are actually going to be, I'm going to start doing them as podcasts as well. So, either it's going to be Q&A, either it's going to be me talking about something, or I'm going to have someone who's an expert come and talk as well. And share some knowledge, maybe have an interview and get an expert on. I think that'd be a good idea. So let me know. So far it's been good. I've definitely noticed a difference since I've been doing these. I think even though you don't, not necessarily everyone jumps on, I think some people might be watching afterwards. And I love how everyone probably gets a little ping. They get a little JP Fitness is live. But yeah. So today, before we get any questions in, obviously get your questions in. I'm going to answer them as we go. We're going to start off. I just want to talk about wins, getting results. Hey, what's up? I finally caught a stream. Yes, Dodgy. What's your name? Dodgy. Boydie, what's up? All right, I'm going to try and be disciplined and talk for a bit, and then I'm going to answer a bunch of questions together versus stopping my train of thought with every question. But yeah, basically, so, I want to talk about wins and milestones. So wins and milestones are super important on your journey. You need to really celebrate the wins and break down what it might take for you to achieve the results you want. So, you might want to look like the next, I don't know, Mr. Olympia, or let's say you want to get a lot of muscle and you want to be under 10% body fat, but maybe you're kilos and kilos overweight. Let's say you're 10, 15 kilos overweight, or 20, 30 pounds overweight, and you haven't got much muscle. You need to kind of break down what it would take for you to get to that end goal. That's really going to help. So you might just look to try and burn your first 5 kilos. When can you do that? When's that realistic by? Maybe you just set yourself a target of, in the next 4 weeks, it's going to be 4 weeks, I'm going to burn 4 pounds or 4 kilos. Just give yourself something really easy so you can get that first win. I feel like the first win is so important. That first success. Let's say your first sale or your first client in the gym. You just need that first little something. It might not be the best situation, it might not be the best win, but that's gonna give you the MO. Like Donald Trump talks about it. I don't know whatever you think about Donald Trump. In fact, his book is right there. I've actually got his book right there. But it's got some great. The guy is a billionaire for a reason, president for a reason. Think whatever you want to think of him. He's got some great tips, and one of his things he talks about is the big MO. It's the big momentum. I always envisage like pushing a boulder, really trying to force a boulder up. At first you try to push the boulder, like pushing a boulder uphill. Almost. Let's say it's a hill and there's 2 sides to it. You're pushing it up, it's struggling, it's nothing's really happening. Or even let's say a flat surface. That's unrealistic. Let's say a flat surface. Let's say you try to push a really or even push a car or something. At the start it's not really moving. You're pushing and pushing and trying and nothing's happening. But all of a sudden you get a little bit of momentum. Maybe the car rocks a little bit, and all of a sudden the wheels slowly start to move. And then as it starts to move, you push a little bit more, and then it gets a little bit easier, and things start happening. That's just happening in so many areas of my life. It's just ridiculous, where it almost looked like an impossible target, and you built the momentum, and all of a sudden you were getting results. That's really how you have to look at any new challenge. And here I'm talking to the newbies pretty much. I'm talking to the newbies. You have to really just do whatever it takes to get that first momentum. Let's say the scales aren't moving. You're weighing yourself every day. The scales aren't moving at all. What can you try? You have to put in the work, and you have to try different things. You have to do both, right? It's not just about working hard, it's about working smart as well. So let's say you're eating 5 meals a day. You might try cut that down to 4 meals a day. Something really basic. Or let's say the scales aren't moving. You might try something you might try smaller plates. Let's say you're having these big plates and big bowls and nothing's happening. You might try eating from smaller bowls. Maybe try that. or or maybe you change up what you eat, and maybe you're having a lot of sandwiches, a lot of bread. Maybe you switch up the bread, and now you're having like rice instead, or potatoes. Like there's literally so much. You just have to keep on trying things, and sometimes you might have to go really extreme with it, like go really extreme just to see a change, and then you can dial it back. Like, I mean, I'm not a fan of crash diets at all. I'm not suggesting anything like that, but you might try something like, you might try a couple of days and go really low carb just to test it out, and then see how your body reacts, and then you can dial it back. So I'm a big believer in before you find that sweet spot, you might have to be a bit extreme on one end or the other end, and then you find that sweet spot, and then you find what works for you. Like you might even try different workouts. You might try running. I've tried everything. I've done the long runs. I've done the burpees. I've done the classes. You might find you might try classes. You might find that fun for doing your workout and your cardio. Not that I believe you need to do cardio to lose weight, but I hope you get my gist. So yeah, just a little beginning monologue. Let's see if we have any questions here to start with. Okay, Dodgy Aboidi asks, JP, are you Ghanaian? Are you Ghanaian? Because I can tell you have the generic. Your physique is excellent, big man. Oh, the genetics. Yes, I am Ghanaian. Yeah, I've mentioned it in a few of my videos. Thank you. Yeah, everyone says good genetics, and it's funny when people say that, because I say that my whole channel was me not having good genetics. That was my whole thing. Is I wasn't happy with my genetics. Very skinny upper body, fat glutes, fat bum. I felt my genetics wasn't good. So but everyone says, oh, genetics, and everyone that says genetics, I just wonder how hard they've tried and how consistent they've been. I mean, obviously, I feel like I have had good results, but I wouldn't say any different to anyone else necessarily. Like, I failed to see someone who's been training hard that's had bad genetics. I haven't seen it. I mean, there's some examples of friends that I had that would train and they would like be really overweight and they wouldn't get results, but I wouldn't think it was genetics. It was just a case of they weren't eating right, and just the mindset was off. Like, I'm not sure if the genetics can affect the mindset. Maybe, genetics can affect, how you absorb new information. But, I wouldn't ever point at someone say genetics. It's just, I don't see how that's ever positive. I mean, obviously, don't get me wrong. Like, you must have genetic freaks out there. And a lot of these genetic freaks, if they're true, they're usually taking steroids. Like, it's just hard. You just focus on your own journey. Just say that you have amazing genetics. Like, just say to yourself, I have amazing genetics. And, it's going to make you're gonna keep the power in your hands. As soon as you say genetics, you're taking the power out of. So if you say I have good genetics, you're taking the power out of my hands. It wasn't reason that necessarily that it wasn't my hard work and determination and consistency. You say this is my genetics. So when people say genetics, I don't really take it as a compliment. I'd rather someone accuse me of taking steroids than accuse me of having great genetics, to be honest. Okay, so Brian says, I once cut my diet and focused. Hold on. I once cut my diet and focused on cardio and butt workouts, but I don't understand why I started getting a toned upper body and an awful lower body. To be honest, I've tried everything and I'm tired. What am I supposed to do? I have momentum, drive, and motivation. You always motivate me, but my results are quite the opposite. Good upper body and a trashy lower body that won't budge. Okay, so Brian, come on down, focused on cardio and butt workouts. Okay, well, I'd like to see what a butt workout would be and exactly what you mean by a terrible lower body. Like, it's hard to say just off that. It's hard to think why one part would be so good and why one part wouldn't be so good, especially if you've been training and your diet's been good. So in that case, that seems like a tough one. It'd be hard for me to give like advice of such little information. So I'd say just hit me up on Instagram, send me a message at JPFitness123 on Instagram, and then I'd love to find out your situation, because yeah, that sounds like a very curious one. You know how I mean, it'd be interesting to see your starting point. That's also an important factor. So yeah, so Brian, just hit me up on Instagram. Actually, give me more, or give me some more information here. If you're listening to this, yeah, like how did you start off? What workouts have you been doing? How's your diet been? And when you say toned, have you been building muscle in your upper body? Have you been building muscle in your lower body? Okay, Dodgy A Boydie says, "What's your PBs on the top three? How do you gain strength?" Okay, good question. What's my personal best? Like, what's the most I've lifted weights? Um, so chest press, the most I've done is, so it was 3 plates and almost 4 plates. So it wasn't 180, it was 170 kilos. So it was 3 20 kilo plates and a 15 kilo plate. So 75, 50, yeah, 170 kilos on chest press. Squats was 180 for 2. That's my max. And then deadlifts it was 5.5 plates, I believe. So 240 kilos for 1 rep, I believe. That's the most I've done. So yeah, like there's been times where I've lifted, like I've done like really been on the powerlifting. I've had phases of that. And I think that definitely helped me get to my size. Like I feel like the times that I've been biggest and strongest, or been biggest, is when I've been strongest as well. But the times that I have been the strongest, I've also had a lot of body fat. So that's the thing. And also, I'm not so much into the powerlifting. I have some super strong friends. But in terms of aesthetics, like, someone's the aesthetics doesn't quite match the strength. Like, I think a typical example of this would be Larry Wheels. Like, Larry Wheels is super strong. Like, Larry Wheels has got superhuman strength. But, he's even stronger than Ronnie Coleman. Like, Ronnie Coleman says that his lifts, Larry Wheels' lifts are stronger than his lifts. And Larry Wheels admits to taking steroids as well. But Larry Wheels is nowhere the size of Ronnie Coleman was in his prime. So let's say they're both side by side. You could say Ronnie Coleman was maybe double the size or way, way bigger and not as strong. So, my whole thing is aesthetics. Is and for me, it's about reps. It's 6 to 12 reps. Like, like once you go below 6 reps, it's more powerlifting. It's more muscle recruitment, if that makes sense. So it's more like, your nervous system, and not necessarily breaking down the fibers. It's more just how you recruit it and technique and form. And also, when you're lifting super heavy, you are risking injury, if that makes sense. You are really risking it. And I wouldn't say go into the gym with an attitude of being timid. Like, you want to be ferocious on every workout. And it is fun. It's a good fun. Like, there was times every Saturday I'd meet up with some friends, and we'd go to my gym, and there'd be like 6 of us at times, like doing bench press, like getting personal best, and we'd all film it and hype each other up. And there were some of my best times in the gym. But thinking back, there was times I remember my elbows would be so sore because I'd be benching like twice a week and lifting weights and lifting heavy, and I'd literally be benching with pain. Like, I'd literally be in agony. But I just stick it through because I was really trying to get myself to the next level. And thinking back, longevity is an important factor. Like, you hear bodybuilders like Jay Cutler, specifically, like he's been retired for many years, but out of all the bodybuilders, he's still in pretty good shape. And you compare that to someone like Ronnie Coleman, who is probably one of the strongest bodybuilders of all time, and he can barely walk, and not necessarily due to the weightlifting, but it's got to make a difference. Like when you're bench, when you're like deadlifting like 400 kilos or 800 pounds or whatever he's doing, it's a lot of pressure on the joints and the tendons, and especially when you take steroids. That's the thing about taking steroids as well, because the steroids aren't necessarily going to make your tendons and ligaments stronger. It's going to make your muscles stronger. So that's why you get some of these bodybuilders or some of these powerlifters, all these steroided guys, with these horrific injuries. There's a video of this with Larry Wheels. There's this guy who basically rips his chest, like a chest tear, like basically rips the chest off his arm, and horrible. And you can literally see it. So yeah, so I'd say just train smart, like, but have fun with it. Like, if I lift too light, I get bored, to be honest. So have fun with it. Lift heavy, but be smart with it as well. Okay, Saturday Fever. Lots of questions. Awesome. Okay. What's best cardio for cutting? So yeah, I've answered this question a few times, but well, in different pieces of content. But it's good. It means that it's an important question that everyone wants to know. So the best cardio is whatever you enjoy doing, and and technically, because I've done all types of cardio. I've done, actually for me the best cardio I found personally was cycle classes and actually teaching cycle classes to the music because I would create my own routine. That's been really fun. What's been really effective, surprisingly, for me was uphill walking. So but that's slow, steady state cardio. So I'd be walking for like an hour, and I found that got me really good results. But it was killer. And really, for me, like if you're looking to cut, like I would scrap cardio completely. Like I don't think cardio is the best for cutting. Like you're better off just controlling your nutrition. Honestly, you're better off just getting on top of your nutrition and getting enough activity in for the day. So just daily steps. Like I think daily steps is really effective. Like I find like when I've had times in my life where I've been active, walking around a lot, it's almost like the weight would just be managed by itself. Versus if you're sedentary, if you're sitting down all the time, then it's going to be a lot harder. So I say if there's times to walk where you could take, public transport or drive, like definitely walk. It's going to definitely add up over time, and then just control the rest of your diet. Like I mean, I've been a trainer for years, and I've been working in a commercial gym. Cardio is a lot of the, you do get influenced to, do the kind of pure loser workout or biggest loser workouts. I'm not sure if you've seen that TV show, it's The Biggest Loser, where they get the contestants to do mad cardio and run 3 miles and flip the tires and this and do the ropes. Like, that's all hype, honestly. Like, the best approach is like Weight Watchers, Slimming World, like where they're educating you on nutrition because like sometimes it's just too complicated. Like let's say you run 2 miles or you do 3 miles of walking. Like how many calories is that versus what you're eating, and now you're just adding an extra variable. I say keep it simple. Just cut out as many variables as you can, and if you can just control what goes in your mouth and just really focus on that, because what you focus on expands. So now your all your attention is on food versus food, and now cardio. Like it's just too much and too much cardio. And also if you're trying to build muscle as well, this is a really big point. Like it's like doing too much cardio will destroy that muscle. That muscle is gonna disappear. That hard-earned muscle is gonna disappear. I'm being honest. Like the whenever I've done cardio, a lot of cardio, the muscle was just gone rapidly. So that was another reason why I take a slower, more steady approach to cutting. Steady, slow. Keep the muscle, keep training, doing the weight training, because when you're doing endless cardio, the your body. I think the word is to go catabolic. So if you do too much cardio, you're not eating correctly, and you're not getting it right, then your body can easily get rid of that muscle that for fuel, and that's the last thing you want. And I find maybe it's a mental thing. I don't know if there's scientific back into this, but I know if I mainly focus on my eating, I find my body targets the fat and keeps the muscle more. So that's another big reason why I would encourage you to just really get on the nutrition. But thanks for the questions, guys. Keep them coming. Okay, hi. I have the big butt issue, but when I flex the glutes, it's mostly hard. Does that mean it's mostly muscle and not fat? Potentially. Potentially you have muscular glutes, which I wouldn't say is a bad thing. I reckon that's an amazing thing, honestly. Like, like it's I would say I would always encourage you guys like hit the gym, like just make once everything's balanced, like your physique is crazy. Like if you got the glutes, yeah, and then you start working on the legs and the upper body, the chest, the shoulders, it's like, and I'm actually really grateful now for my body. I feel like you just get mad attention. Like I remember being in like Mexico, and you even get the strippers, the prostitutes, and the escorts like giving you attention. Like honestly, obviously they give everyone attention, I guess, because they want the money, but they literally are just like in shock. Like and even just in general, like if you're presenting your physique properly, like you're gonna get a lot of positive attention. So don't be worried about it. Just see it as a head start. You know, like it's like some people like compare it to calves. Like some people have really big calf muscles, right? They haven't done any work for it. They just got huge calf muscles, and I'm jealous of those people because my calves are tiny. Like my calves are really are something I'm really. That's the next thing. Like how I used to feel about my butt is how I feel about my calves, and I really want to get my. Not necessarily that I had big calves, but I've never had big calves. But it's something that I feel a little bit insecure about. if I'm honest. Like the lower calves, the lower leg is not, it's not a good look. So, you know, it's something that I'm trying to work on. I'm actually going to post a video, some content about how to get that bigger, the lower leg, the calf, how to get that bigger. So yeah, just be, you know, if you've got a big butt and it's not fat and it's, you know, muscular and round and good shape, then, you know, be grateful, I would say. Okay. I did morning runs, touched. I did morning runs. So Brian Marini says, I did morning runs, jump rope, heel touches, deadlifts, squats, and lunges. My abs got more defined, a better chest, slimmer arms, but my butt was still huge. Well, to be fair, if you're doing deadlifts and lunges, they're actually going to grow your glutes. They're going to grow your glutes. So maybe give it a little rest on those. I mean, there's been times where I've avoided those exercises for sure. There have been many times where I've avoided, you know, I felt my glutes were getting too big, so I'd stick to more like leg extension, hamstring curls, more isolation. It was actually a time not too long ago where I was just doing isolation exercises because I wasn't liking how I was getting too big. But in hindsight, it was the diet was, you know, my diet wasn't good at the time, or I needed to clean up my diet and lose some weight. So yeah, so you know, give that a try. Sometimes it's a bit of trial and error. Like maybe cut out the deadlifts, cut out the lunges, still do the squats. And if you want to play it really safe, then just stick to like leg press, hack squat if you got one. That's gonna target the quad. So leg press, leg extension, leg curl, and take a break from the deadlifts and squats if you're really concerned, and then see what happens. Um, and obviously, if you're really concerned, I would never. I hate advising this, but if you're really concerned, then maybe skip legs for a couple months and then see what happens. Or just do like body weight legs and not do too much weight because give that a try. And sometimes you just gotta do some try and error. Like, you know, you're sculpting your body, right? Like you're the artist, you know how you want it, and that's the whole like aesthetics and bodybuilding is, you know, getting it how you want. Like no one can tell you, you know, how you should want your body. So, you know, and so give that a try. But like I said, my first 2 years I didn't do any legs pretty much until I balanced my body. I do regret it now a little bit. But it worked for me. Okay, hold on, any questions? Oh, okay, we've got some questions on Instagram. What's up, Instagram? I see a lot of people checking in. Hey, Jamie, what's up, Jamie? Just seeing this now. Okay, Oliver Andrews says, what is your go-to quick and easy cheat meal? Good question. Quick and easy cheat meal. Oh, clean meal. Oh, go-to quick and easy clean meal. So I would go for oats. Really quick and easy. So I go for 40 grams of oats, 200 milliliters of milk, and some sweetener, dash of salt and some cinnamon, and 2 minutes in the microwave and we're done. Also, what I've actually been eating a lot of recently, like believe it or not, is beans on toast. So it's like I have 3 eggs, some milk, bit of seasoning, whisk that up, 2 minutes in the microwave, half a can of beans, 2 slices of toast, and you know that's 5 minutes. So you know you've got two. You've got oats, and you've got beans and eggs on toast. So that's beans and eggs is more of a British. I think that's more British than anything, but that's really quick and easy. Also, if I'm feeling I want something quick and easy, I might get this is what I was doing in Mexico quite a lot. So I'd get like a packet of tuna or a can of tuna. Then I'd bit of mayo, a little bit of mayo, can of tin vegetables, like a couple spoonfuls of vegetables, mix that up, put that in the microwave, pull that out, get a tortilla wrap, and then just put that in a tortilla, and I've got like a tuna wrap. So that's another quick one. What's another quick one? I've got quite a few of these actually. I could do the same thing with eggs as well. So eggs and tuna wrap. Like, so these are really easy things. There's nothing wrong with bread. See, like both of these are bread. Like I do have videos kind of not suggesting bread, and the things I find about bread is that it can make you bloated. So if you know, but that's why I kind of do prefer tortillas, because tortillas, they're a bit lighter on the stomach, I find. But yeah, bread, you know, instead of having to cook rice, I know like cooking rice can take a while. So yeah, that's what I would suggest, and that's what I'm doing. So give it a try. And another also asks, also on the contrary, what's your favorite cheat meal? Oh, you do ask about the cheat meal. So, cheat meal. What's my favorite cheat meal? That's a good question. There's so many. Um, I would always. So if I was to go for a cheat meal, I'd go for something protein heavy. So maybe I'll go for KFC, some fried chicken. I think the worst kind of cheat meal is like a pizza. Like, but you know, I do love pizza sometimes because pizza's purely gonna be like pure carbs and a couple slices of like protein on the top. So, but you know, if you're in a relationship, for example, you know, you and your girlfriend want a pizza and watch a movie, then by all means. But from a purely fitness perspective, if you was to go for a cheat meal, I would suggest like something meat based, so like a fried chicken, or if you could go out and have like a steak and chips or something like that, that would be perfect. Like that's almost like a normal meal. If you can go for a steak and chips or ribs or something like that, something meat heavy, or unless if you're vegan, then a vegan equivalent, something protein heavy. So I suppose if you're vegan, go for like a hummus or tofu or something like that. Okay, we're booming today. Maybe a Saturday. This is the most lives we've had, way more than yesterday. So thanks for the questions, Oliver. And yeah, Oliver, yes, the calves do need a lot of volume for me. Yeah, they need. I'm training calves basically every lower day. I've got three lower days every three lower days every week. So I do three upper, three lower. So before every lower day, I do about four sets of calf raises. I do a four sets of tibia raises, if you can call it that, anterior tibia raises. So I put my foot in the kettlebell. I'm literally lifting up my toes to try to work that front muscle, but it's slow. It's slow. Like, however, like if you guys are starting on your journey, like and you're feeling pain, I feel the same pain with my calves and lower legs. So we're in it together. Trust me. Okay, so YouTube is booming. Excellent. Love Boy asks what I'm doing to lose some body fat and butt fat is weightlifting, burpees, and running once or twice a week when I have time on the weekends and also. Uh, okay. Yeah, I don't know if that's a question, but that's good. And like I said, like, and obviously I've talked about doing cardio, but nutrition, guys, weightlifting and nutrition, honestly. Weightlifting and nutrition, make it easy for yourself. All right, Oliver, you're welcome. Hey, Chips So Fly. Thank you, brother. Yes, we're doing this daily. Thank you for the encouragement. And thank you for the questions. You're encouraging me to keep going. This is my new thing, my new obsession. Obviously, I've always been obsessed about fitness, but I guess with the lockdowns and everything closing, the pandemic really kind of got me demotivated to share my expertise. But what I did notice, even in Mexico, even when I was distracted and not doing fitness per se, I was doing personal training here and there, but you know, people have always been asking me for advice throughout. Like that's one thing I've had throughout. People sending me DMs and stuff. So thank you guys. You've always been there to kind of pull me back and keep me grounded on what people really want and how I can kind of be of service in the world. So I guess this is my calling, the fitness. But I've always been interested in fitness. Fitness and business are two of the things I've always loved, and music. So if I can combine all three. In fact, someone was asking me about music the other day. By the way, I've got two albums out under Joshua the God. I think I've had like a religious, a spiritual awakening. So it might just be Joshua for the new projects. But the next project is going to be basically like just gym music, like hype gym music. So let me know what kind of music you like listening to in the gym. Like what's your favorite track? Let me know your favorite track in the gym. I love to find out, and then I can find out what everyone likes listening to, and then I can make maybe music similar to that. But there's me getting distracted again. Yo, Hassan Ali, what's up? Good seeing you, brother. Welcome. Brian says, I hit you up on Instagram though. I need all the help I can get. Yeah, hit me up on Instagram. Anyone, if you want specific help, hit me up on Instagram. I'd love to give you some tips and suggestions. I'm here to help. So Instagram's probably the best direct way to hit me up personally. Okay. Dodgy Boydie says, so JP, how did you do progressive overload at the beginning of your journey, like knowing how to lift more? So how did I do it? Good question. Oh, okay. Easy to answer. So I'll tell you exactly how I did it. So I would always, when I first trained, so before I ever joined the gym, I hired a trainer. Yeah, so I had the top trainer in the gym. Like this guy was huge, jack white guy called Adam. And I remember I came to the gym, I came to reception, and I was like, I'm looking to get a program. He was like, what do you want to achieve? I wanted to get big everywhere. He was like, okay. So he wrote me up a program, and he said, I think he gave me the advice to like write my weights down every set. Like every set, write my weights down. And this is actually what I get all my new clients to do. I get them to write down, record everything. And that way, every week you should be looking to progress, like in all areas. So typically progressing weights. So let's say I give you a program, and the first exercise on chest day, International Chest Day Monday, the first exercise is bench press. So let's say the first workout, you start off, let's say you do 4 sets, keep it simple, 4 sets of, let's say 40 kilos, 40 kilos on the bench press. So that's like 10 on each side. Okay, so I see that. So next week I'd expect you to try a little bit more. So maybe the first 3 sets would be 40 kilos. The final set would be 42.5 kilos. You put like a 1.25 on each side. And then the second week, now you do 2 sets of 40, 2 sets of 42.5. And then before you know it, you're doing all the sets of 42.5. And now you have to push it. Now you have to do 45 kilos. So the last set you do 45. So that makes sense. So you always want to be pushing yourself. So the last 2 reps are like you're struggling. Like you never want to be doing like 10 reps and that was easy, and then you could have done more, or you just left some in the tank. Like some people say, like I've trained some clients and they say, I don't want to do too much, but I don't want to tie myself up for the future. Hold on, someone calling me. Oops. Yeah. They say I don't want to do too much on my first exercise. I don't want to tie myself out for the further end of the workout, and I never got that. Like really, you should be going like balls to the wall, like foot to the pedal or foot to the floor. I'm messing them all up, but pedal to the metal for the whole time. Like go 100%, go all out every set. You want to go all out. Don't leave anything in the tank. So yeah, hopefully I answered your question, and that's a very good question. And for anyone that doesn't know, progressive overload is when you're progressively if you haven't figured out already, is when you're progressively like making things tougher and harder slowly. Okay. Oops. Okay. Got a nice little tour of the room there. Okay, Paco, what's up? How you doing? If I can make this better. Okay. Keep the questions coming, guys. Okay. So my Instagram is in my channel bio, but it's JP Fitness 123 at JP Fitness 123. That's my Instagram. At JP Fitness 123. Okay, lots of questions. Awesome stuff, guys. Alex says the trick to make your butt look smaller is to have massive hamstrings. It's all about proportions. Yes, the hamstrings are key, guys. This is something that took me a long time to figure out. Like I was always nervous about hamstrings. I used to play football, and you see so many like football players like in agony after pulling a hamstring. They'd be running and they'd be screaming and like almost like they got like stabbed or shot in the back of the leg. So I was always nervous about really pushing my hamstrings. I feel like, out of all the muscle groups, I was always, going 70%, and I definitely paid the price. Now, obviously, like over the last couple of years, post-pandemic, I've really focused on my hamstrings a lot. But funnily enough, I was always deadlifting heavy, but doing like the full deadlifts. I wish I would have done more Romanian deadlifts. So the difference is the Romanian deadlift is where you basically keep your knees straight. You don't really flex your knees so much, and that activates the hamstrings more. So I was always going heavy on that, but obviously I'm sure I was using a lot of my glutes for my deadlifts, a lot of my back, a lot of my glutes, quads. But like the basic exercises like leg curl are really good, like leg curl, either seated leg curl or lying leg curl. these are really good, and I wish I went harder on those exercises. I really do. Okay. Oh, the comments are booming on YouTube. YouTube is booming. Okay, Gabriel, what does the hamstrings mean? That the muscles below the back, the butt, the back of the thighs. Yeah, perfect. This is why it's nice to have a little community. It's nice. We can all help each other. That is awesome stuff. Good work, Alex. Okay, Gabriel says, I have a huge butt and upper body is normal. It looks so embarrassing. I can't lose fat from the butt. Yeah. Well, you can. Number one, change the language. You know, the words you use are powerful because it's a reflection of your thoughts. So even when you're typing that, you know, you're saying you can't, like, these are words, these are bad words. I can't, won't. You know, you can do it, but you just need some guidance. So yeah, so I would suggest, you know, you need to drop your body fat levels a bit more. Like I talk about this. It's probably going to be the last to go, you know, train the whole body. Again, it's going to be hard to give you specific advice based on, you know, that comment alone. But, you know, if you want specific help at JP Fitness 123, or please share more about, you know, what you're doing right now, how you're eating, so I can give you more specific advice. But on what you said, the main thing I'm saying is just change the language. Change the language you're using. Like, you can do it, you just don't know how. You just don't have the information yet, which is totally fine. Because I don't have the information on a lot of things that I'm trying to figure out. And that's where we're here to all learn from each other. You're trying to learn from me, I'm trying to learn from other people. I'm trying to make my content better, I'm trying to reach more people. So we're all on different journeys, like we're all like, and this is the power of the internet, you know, you can easily find someone who's an expert in exactly your pain and your field. But long story short, give me some more information, brother. Okay. Okay, I have a... If only you knew how much Greek I'm hearing right now on the food section. What is a tortilla? I don't think that's available where I'm from. Ah. Yeah, that's... I was in Mexico for a year. I'm sure you can get tortillas everywhere. Like where are you from? Where are you from? You don't have tortillas. You must have some kind of wrap. I mean, I think tortillas are pretty international. No, it's basically just bread. Like if you're like in India, it's like maybe like a naan bread or chapati. It's just bread that's flat. Like, I'm sure that's international. Maybe not in Africa. That's a good question. Okay, love boy. I'm not that fat on upper body. I'm normal, but only my butt makes me look way fatter than I am. Okay, bench by Scorcher Merkston, best gym tune. Nice. All right, I might have to search that up. Okay, I'm gonna remember that. Bench by Scorcher Merston. Okay, how am I gonna remember that? That's I'm gonna write that down. I've got my little notepad here. I like that. You see, that is inspiration right there. Thank you for that. Sometimes in life, once you set a goal, so I have a goal, I'm gonna make a music gym album. The universe just gives you ideas. And then when the universe gives you ideas, you have to write this down. So thank you for that. So bench by Scorcher. And by the way, this is my little notepad. I write my goals every day. I suggest you start doing it with me. Write your goals every day, your gratitude list every day. So I've got my short-term goals, my long-term goals. And actually I have a fitness short-term goal. My fitness goal right now is be in great shape. Oh, hold on. Great. So I've got something like great lower body, basically. Have like an amazing lower body. That's my goal. Like have an incredible lower body and great shape and free from all disease or illness or anything like that without needing any medication. So that's a personal health goal. Because it's always good to be healthy. Health, wealth, happiness. Okay. So yeah, JP Fitness 123. If anyone wants to know my Instagram, JP Fitness 123. Okay, we're gonna hit Instagram, some Instagram questions. I'm live on Instagram, so Instagram's here, YouTube's here, so I'm live on both. So if you wanna hit me up on the live on Instagram, you can do. Okay, Paco Lebeau says fastest way to get abs, in my opinion. You're 3 months out of the gym and bad diet. So the fastest way is number one, start hitting the gym, start doing weight training, resistance training. Number two, clean up your diet. So the first way to clean up your diet is to cut out the sugars, the added sugars. So number one, if you're having sodas like Coke and Pepsi, either cut that for water, straight H2O, or go for like the diet sodas. That's fine. That's a good start. Number two, you wanna cut out the processed food. So if you're having like anything out of a packet, like crisps or biscuits or cakes, you wanna cut those out and start, cooking foods. If you don't have time to cook foods yourself, go for foods with less than like 5 ingredients. So a basic example of a great meal would be like chicken and rice and some vegetables. That's like, I know it sounds boring and basic, but if you cook it right, it's actually delicious. Or chicken and beef, or chicken and fish, or if you're vegan, go for like beans and something like instead of all these creams and fancy ingredients. Like when it gets creamy and saucy, that's when you're in you're in a kind of messy territory. So dangerous territory. So that's the basic advice I'd be, and also just change the mindset from fast. Like I know everyone wants a quick fix here and there, but easy come, easy go. So nice and slow and steady wins the race, and yeah. So diet and weightlifting. Okay, Brian says, was my fitness journey depressing because it seems more difficult psychologically by the day? Physically, the motivation is present, but emotionally and psychologically, I feel beaten up. Any advice? So my little hack to take away the psychological side was I actually didn't look at myself for the first 6 months. So luckily enough in the UK, like I started in October and it was getting cold. So, generally you want to wrap up when you go to the gym anyway. So basically I would be training in a baggy t-shirt. So I would never train in something like this, no way, because I'd be so skinny, I'd feel so self-conscious. So my hack was I didn't look at myself, I just focused on performance. So I focused on getting stronger and I focused on my progressive overload as I talked about earlier in my sheet. So I focused on getting the numbers up. So as I got the numbers up, I knew that I wouldn't necessarily see it, but I knew the fact that I was getting stronger and stronger for more reps meant that the muscle was getting built. So yeah, that for me that was huge. So I didn't look at myself. So if you're going to work out, you're staring at your butt every day, like that's not really gonna work. So yeah, so keep going, like, and also the reason you might be getting discouraged is that you're not really setting your targets high enough. So maybe you're saying that you expecting results faster than is necessarily realistic. So or you're underestimating the effort. So maybe you're underestimating what it really takes for you and your diet to really change. So let's say you feel like you can still I'm not saying you're doing this. I'm just saying as an example. Let's say you still want to be like having like beers like 3 or 4 times a week, and and you still want to have like takeout a couple times a week, and but you feel like your training is enough and you can do cardio, but it turns out but the cardio is not enough to compensate for that. If you've just miscalculated, that can make you really discouraged. So and this is all areas of life, by the way, as well. Like, and this is the one thing that listening to Grant Cardone really made it clear. It's like most of the times you're discouraged because you really underestimated the effort it would take, and you seeing things as a failure. But no, you the failure was not setting the right target, not putting the right effort in the first place. I'm not saying that you're not putting the effort in, but the best thing to do would be, you just have to try again, try harder. Like once you commit to never give up, you won't be discouraged. Like the way you're talking sounds like you're close to giving up. And trust me, if you give up, like the pain will still be there. Like I can think about all the things that I've given up on, and the pain didn't go. The pain doesn't ever go away once you give up. That's the thing, like, unfortunately. So you just have to keep going, just get back on the wheel, try another thing. Like you're trying, you're obviously watching me, you know what I'm saying? So you're doing something. Hit me up on Instagram as well at JPFitness123. And then, that'll be the next step of you taking action. Okay, we're gonna do another YouTube question and Instagram. Wow, tons of questions. We might have to go over the time. But yes, I've got music. Joshua the God, if you want to hear what I've done already. Joshua the God, Spotify, iTunes, YouTube, everywhere. You can hear what I've been up to in Mexico. So maybe you might find that some fun. Brian says, working out at height. I don't think so. Height is like a bone thing, and you can add width. If you can't, focus on the width. That's what I'd focus on. JP, how can we lose the fat in the butt for men? I've got so many videos on this, but losing fat in the butt is the same as losing fat in the stomach or anywhere else. Like, it's just a case of calorie deficit. So watching your food, less calories in your food, and resistance training. If you want to do cardio, you can do cardio, but the main thing is your diet, nutrition. Okay, Eldon says 007, love this, bro, very motivational, keep these lives going, big fan. Thank you, brother. Honestly, all the encouragement I'm getting, is fuel to the fire, so thank you. And and likewise, if you get a compliment in the gym or someone says like you're making good progress or you're looking pumped or or if you're lucky enough they accuse you of taking steroids, then that's a really big win, because it shows that it's positive feedback. It's the universe telling you you're doing the right thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, if the universe is telling you you're doing the right thing, then you should. That's a huge win. Like, don't ever downplay it. Don't ever do the humble thing of it's nothing. Like, I mean, maybe act like that, but in your heart, like, especially when you're starting from zero, as we spoke about at the start, the momentum, like you're pushing a car, pushing a boulder. It's not moving. It's not budging. It's not budging. You know what I'm saying? You're not seeing any progress in the mirror, but you're seeing yourself every day. But someone else might not have seen you for a little while, so they see you in 4 weeks and they give you a nice little compliment. You have to. That's a big win. That's a big win. So thank you. I'm gonna take that as a big win. So we're doing this every day, guys. And as you notice, every day, things are more positive. Things are happening, and the universe. And the thing is, it's crazy how the universe will just back you up. Like, it'll just give you some signs. Like, if you're into if you're into spirituality or you're reading the Bible or the Quran or anything like that, like, you might just read something that will just, if you're unsure if you're doing the right thing, it will just give you some encouragement. Like, even I was on the gym today listening to Grant Cardone, and he was saying about how he was doing lives 2 times a day, 3 times a day, didn't know what he was doing, he just started doing it. And like, sometimes when you listen to someone more successful than yourself, sometimes just one sentence they say, and it really just strengthens your conviction, and you really, it really answers like a doubt in your mind, and if you're on a fitness journey, you're gonna get this. Trust me, you're watching me, maybe it's something I say, maybe it's another video you watch after this, or a YouTube video where you read a book, and you had an idea about something, like about maybe training or diet, or even mindset, and it just like clicks for you. So, and the things, you won't get these clues without setting the goal first and putting the effort in first. Like, that's so huge. It's such a big thing of just committing to the task. And even if it seems impossible, like, even if it seems like the most impossible thing, because nothing is impossible. If another human being has done it, you can do it. Like, and just, start there. And then, the universe is gonna, unfold it for you. And I'm so happy that I'm going through my own challenges, and I can talk about these things, because as I said, like, a lot of these keys to success are the same in all areas, like health, wealth, relationships. A lot of these things are like, a lot of these principles can apply. So if you can succeed in fitness, then you can apply this to business and relationships. And likewise, if you've succeeded in, like, let's say your business, let's say you've done really well in your business, and just apply the same principles to fitness, like, and you're gonna have a great head start. Okay. How can I get straight legs and knees? Straight legs and knees. Maybe see a chiropractor, in terms of like, 'cause this is like, if you've got bow legs, maybe like, that's something where kids start walking too early. I mean, generally, as they say, if all you know is a hammer, everything looks like a nail. But I'm honestly one of those people that thinks that most things can be solved with like building muscular strength, like posture, anything muscular imbalance and weaknesses. I think can be solved by the gym. And there's not many physical things that I think, in terms of like skeletal muscular, that can't be solved from working out. Like a lot of people, they break it when you break a leg or something like that. The doctor will recommend they do rehab physio, and that's gym. Generally, the physio is giving them exercise in the gym. So but again, the question's a bit too generic for me to answer it specifically. Okay, Dodgy Abudi, probably butchering your name, says, wait, so your last set is different. So, example, 60 kgs for 4, then on the 4th, you try 62.5 for as many as you can. Yeah, if I've still got juice on the tank, yeah, for sure, I'll try heavier. Yeah, 100%. And typically, how I do approach most of my sets is that I do typically start lighter. So, like, let's say my maximum start at 60. Like, I would probably start warm up at like 30. I'll do 30, 40, 50, 60, if that makes sense. So that's probably the better example I would give. But yeah, basically, I'm always, towards the end of the set, I'm always trying to push. And obviously, if it comes to the case of maybe set 3, I do like 60 kilos and only get 8 reps, then I wouldn't try 62 off for the final one. If I was aiming for 10, I would go down a little bit. And that's something as well. Like, you need to you need to kind of check the ego at the door as you step in the gym. If you can't do a weight, just maybe there's someone next to you. There's a man next to you, and he's like looks your size and he's pushing more than you. Like, don't worry about that. Just focus on your own thing. Put the ego to the side. Even like I had to check my ego the other day, because basically I find that I actually get better results on my legs on the Smith machine. But I felt like, I've been training for so long. This is a new gym. What's everyone gonna think of me if I'm squatting in the Smith machine? I'm gonna look like I'm not serious. I'm gonna look like a joker. But I just had to do it. I just like forget what everyone else to say. It's about my workout, my body. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's probably just the little conversations in your head. But yeah, check the ego at the door. That's another lesson. I've learned that if you have APT, so that's anterior pelvic tilt or big butt, then you shouldn't stretch your hamstrings. Is this correct? Yeah, stretch your hamstrings, stretch stretch everything, like flexibility, stretch everything, like improve the flexibility, improve the strength in all your body parts, So anterior pelvic tilt, if anyone doesn't know, it's basically where your spine is curved, and it curves at the bottom, so it basically makes your hips kind of hunch up and makes your butt stick out more. And a good way I studied this actually. So you want to get a stronger core, so that's one thing. So you get a stronger core. So make sure you have a little core routine in your plan. And it means you've got weak. So I have to get back on you on that. But it's basically it's muscular imbalance. Again, which can be like once you have a well-rounded program, it's gonna fix that. Like, if you're training and you're working on all your muscles equally, like there's no reason why you should have those imbalances. So, but yeah, I'm gonna do a video on. Well, the thing, I've never had really a problem. I've researched it, but I'm gonna do a proper video on anterior pelvic tilt. I feel like that's the important one for guys to check. Alex says best hamstring exercises with a resistance band. A video on that would be cool. Okay, I can do that. Why a resistance band though? Out of curiosity, like, why wouldn't you be in the gym? Maybe the gyms, yeah. Let me know. But typically, I mean, what you can do actually, you don't even need to use a resistance band. What you can do is the single leg deadlift. That's a good one. But I'll do some videos about how you can grow your hamstrings out of the gym. I'm gonna take that on board. Thank you for the feedback. Much appreciated. Okay, Loveboy says I eat chapati, tortilla only, no bread. Okay. JP, your shoulders are huge. What would you say is a key for cap delts? Thank you, brother. I guess this top helps as well. I do a lot of lateral raises, so this exercise, I love this. I've done this my whole gym life. Like, that's one thing that's been like pivotal. Also, I've always gone really heavy on shoulders, really heavy, and thankfully, touch wood, I've never been injured from going heavy, but I go really heavy on shoulders. So I did a lot of dumbbell shoulder presses. So I did a lot of seated as well. That was a big one. Seated dumbbell shoulder presses, lateral raises, upright rows. I guess, you know, they're my main exercise for building big shoulders. So yeah. Okay, Gabriel says I eat like 1,500 calories a day, and you do every day 30-minute jogging and 2 hours of training. My butt is still the same after 4 months of training. Okay, what's your diet like? Tell me the diet. I want to hear about the diet. The diet is really everything. Like, diet, guys. I can't overestimate how important your diet is to your results. Especially if you've got fat, if you've got excess body fat. Really control the diet, it's going to change everything. Like, when you put in too much cardio, it just overcomplicates it. And I've been the cardio guy. The amount of burpees I must have made people do over 20,000 burpees in my time. Probably more, collectively, 20, 30,000 burpees. So, and I've done a bunch, you know. I was the guy that could do 100 burpees in, 10 minutes. So 10 burpees every minute. So basically 10 burpees every 30 seconds, rest of 30 seconds, do another 10 burpees. So, but, you know, in hindsight, I really discovered this in Mexico, like, diet. And that's the thing, like, you might want to, the thing is, you probably are impatient. That's a big thing as well, being impatient. Like, you want to get lean now, like, oh, I want to get a six-pack now. So let me do cardio. Let me lose butt fat now. Let me do lots of cardio, but, you know, it's not always the smartest option. You might be better off, like, just going slower. Give yourself more time. If you have a holiday in 2 months' time, don't start 2 months from the holiday. Start 4 months. Give yourself more time. And the thing is, the slower you make these changes, the longer they're going to stick afterwards. Versus, you know, you give yourself a hard time and, you know, you basically starve yourself and then you go on holiday and you just binge like crazy. Like now you got there, now you go crazy. And then you come back and you just, you know, you rebound even worse than before. Versus if you took the time to make the proper lifestyle changes, then you go on holiday, you maintain those changes, you come back, you maintain those changes, and you basically change your life. Versus being one of those, like, you know, mouse wheel yo-yo dieters, you know. Holiday, kind of crash diet, now you're free, go crazy. Then you have to do it all over again, and it's always hard. Like, it never gets easier to diet and lose weight. Even now, you know, if you were to tell me, I mean, it's easy because I know what I'm doing now, and I have the right mindset to it, but what's easier for me is just to stay lean and never get out of shape, just never do it. Like, even there's times where I feel like, you know, eating, like slacking or, you know, having the extra snack or letting go. But I know in the back of my head, like, I'm going to weigh myself tomorrow, and, you know, and if I don't like what I see, then, you know, is this new habit I'm bringing in my life helping me or hurting me? That's what you got to ask yourself. Like, there's been many times I've had to catch myself, like, I catch myself eating like a sugary cereal, because I do love, you know, I do love some oats or some all bran or some cereal, and that. Sometimes just to catch yourself, like, is this really helping me? Like, especially if you weigh yourself and the weight is slowly creeping up, like, you just have to ask yourself, like, you know, do you really need this in your life? Like, and when it comes to snacking, you're better off just having a bigger meal. You're better off just having a bigger spoonful of your breakfast, your oats in the morning, or another spoonful or extra few grams of rice or of an extra chicken breast or something. Like, it's going to be way better than you snacking on like a biscuit or, you know, chocolate bar or having a fizzy drink. You know, sometimes even I go as far as fruit. Sometimes, you know, obviously fruit is good, you know, and there's a difference between healthy and weight loss and fat loss, like, you know, because, you know, you could have technically nuts are healthy, but you have too many of those, you're going to be gaining weight and gaining fat and calories, and, like, you know, if you're having too much like oranges and sweet fruits, like extra sweet fruits, you know, these things do add up. So I know that's a bit of an extreme example. You might not expect me to say something like that, but you know, it's when food is the main controlling factor, you can, you know, and you can not obsess about food in a bad way, but it just makes you really focused, and everything counts. All right, so we've hit an hour. Thank you, everyone. That was probably the most I've had since the first day. So that's an amazing sign that we're making progress. We're going to do this again tomorrow, 9 p.m. Have a great rest of your day or rest of your evening. And any questions at JP Fitness 123 on Instagram. And take care. Catch you on the next one.